Okay, so this question here, the daily cost of hiring a plumber, Y, to work X hours in a repair project can be modeled using a linear function. Okay, the plumber charges a fixed cost of $80. Fixed cost, that's your clue. Fixed cost means that that is a constant. Means constant value of 80. Okay, plus, so I'm going to write plus, an additional cost of $45 per hour. So that's going to be plus $45 X. The per is your clue for X. Okay, so we've pretty much, and then the maximum number of hours per day. So, and he can only work 8 hours, a maximum of 8 hours per day. So that's your limit. Limit is equal to 8 hours. Okay, and for 1 day of work, what is the range for this function of the situation? Okay, so we're going to eliminate all the answers that say domain. That would be A, and that would be C, because those have X instead of Y, so that automatically takes them out. So this is Y. All right, now let's look at when it talks about 80 to 440. Okay, so if I talk about my limit for the number of hours, let me write my equation, Y is equal to. Okay, my limit is hours, all right? And then as I get out the hours, that's going to get, and it says X is represented by the number of hours. So my domain, I'm going to write my domain just so we can talk about it. My domain is going to be from 0 hours all the way to 8 hours. So I can work 0 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, so on up to 8 hours. Okay, and I can also include the increment. So I could like work 1.5 hours, 1.6 hours, 1.5 hours, an hour and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes, however you want to describe that determination. You could say he can work 7 hours and 55 minutes. He will still be in the limits of his domain. Okay, well, that's his domain. His range is going to be whatever those values are that we put into our graph. So if our function. So if I say if I write this as a function of x, so f of x is equal to 80 plus 45x. Okay, so this function, if I say 0 hours, so f of 0, so if he's worked no hours, that means I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So this is going to be 80 plus 45 times 0. So f of 0 hours is going to give me 80. So he's going to, at the minimum, because 0 is our minimum value, he's going to make at least $80, period. So that means B is looking really promising there for my answer choice. Don't know where the 45 is coming from. Really don't. I'm pretty confident that B is going to be our answer choice looking at these two. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. Let's check our maximum. So I'm going to do f of 8. So the f of 8 is going to be 80 plus 45 times 8. Let's see. 80 plus times 8 is going to give me 440, which is our maximum value. Goodness, I don't know what got into me. Maximum range of 440. So my answer choice is B and not D. All right. Let's go to the next question. The set of weights includes 4-pound barbells and 6 pairs of weight plates. Each pair of plates weighs 20 pounds, and if X pairs of plates are added to the barbell, the total weight of the barbell and plates in pounds can be represented by the function given. Now, this is I'm going to talk about this as well. This is in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. So if I look at this function, f of x is equal to 20x plus 4. And it says, what is the range? That's our y values. So this output here, that is our range. Whatever value gets put into our x, that's our domain. Okay? Now, we know that 20 is our slope in terms of talking about this in y is equal to mx plus b. Okay? But I think it's important that you understand the values that we're putting in here and for the domain and range. Well, it says, if I look at this 4-pound barbell, okay, that is that value there. That's our constant. That's our y-intercept if I were to put this on a graph. Now, depending on the input, the number of pairs of weighted plates, so the 6 pairs of weighted plates, we've got from, and let's think about how many pairs we have. We can have a 0 pair, a 1 pair, a 2 pair, a 3 pair, a 4 pair, and a 5 pair, and a 6 pair. Okay? We can't have anything more, and we're not going to have half because it's saying pairs of weighted plates. If you look at a barbell, I'm going to draw a barbell. It's a pole, right? And these plates that we're going to put, so this bar is 4 pounds. And if I were to put a plate on this, that's an awful drawing of the plate. Let's see if I can get a better drawing of the plate. Let's just do this. We'll do this. So here's a plate. That's 1. If I only, instead of, if I put half of that pair of plate, that barbell is going to be uneven. So we have to use 1 pair. Okay, so don't get too confused by that word pair. Okay, that's the only thing that I want to talk about this. So we have to use each. So I can use 1, 0. I can put no pairs, and then we're just lifting weights with the bar. Or I can put 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair, 4 pair, 5 pair, 6 pair of plates on. So I can go all the way. So that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I even have 4, 5, 6. Like this whole thing will be covered. Yep, okay. Anyways, moving on. So this here, though, this is my input. This is the 6 pairs of my weighted plates is my domain. That's the input. So that means in order to find my range, I need to input those pairs into my function. So I need to say f of 0. F of 0 is going to be equal to 4. Okay, so now talking about, let's look at our answer choices too. So A is if we look at this and say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, A is our domain. We're not looking for domain, we're looking for range. So that's not our answer choice. Okay, so we have 4 here. We've got 0, 2, 4, 6. We got 4 in all 3 of our remaining answer choices. We have it in B, C, and D. But let's talk about, just before we even have to go further, why C is eliminated. It says 0, 2, 4, 6. I think this is some weird domain. I'm not sure what there would be looking at, what mistake you might have been made on this. I'd have to look further into that, but this is not the answer choice because we know our domain is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to discrete function. Okay, so let's put in 6. So f of 6 is going to be equal to 20 times 6 plus 4. If I solve that and put that into my calculator, that's going to give me 180 plus 120. 120 plus 4 is going to give me 124, which is in both of these. So we've got 4, 4, 124, and 4 in both of these answer choices. But this has 1, 2, 3, 4. I see where they are. Your mistake that you would be making is thinking that your domain would be from 0. It'd only be 4 inputs instead of 6 inputs. You have 6 inputs. So without even doing any further calculation, I can eliminate D because this only has 4 inputs. B has 6 inputs. It has 4 is the input for 0. 24 is the input for 1. 44 is the output for the input of 3. 64 is the output for the input of 4. so on and so on. Okay? So that's why B is our answer choice. I'm going to do this one real quick because I think this is an easy one. The graph of a part of a linear function G is shown on the grid. Which inequality shows the domain, that is the x values, as part of the shown. Okay, I'm going to make a frame because this is a continuous function, but it's limited, meaning that it's not the whole, it's not an infinite function. Okay, so it's limited by what we're given on the graph. Now, one of those limits is unlimited. So like if I were to talk about this here, or rather it's limited still, but it's not included. So if our x values are all of these values on our x-axis. So I want to look at what is the smallest x value that I'm going to hit my frame on this graph, which is here at -9. And then my largest value is going to be here at 2. So, and I'm going to eliminate h, and then I'm going to eliminate j. The reason I'm going to eliminate j is because both of these is because it says g of x, which is the same thing as saying y. So these would be our range. The only f and g are the only ones that have x, and that's talking about domain. So we know both of these have -9 and 2. Okay. The difference between f and g are the symbols of our inequalities. Because this circle here is open, that means that it's not included at -9. So that means it needs to be less, that's a less than symbol, like in our answer choice F. And then at 2, this is a closed circle, so that means that that 2 is included, which means less than or equal to. So G is not our answer choice. All right, see you later.